It's a really difficult situation, this the welfare and everything else that goes with it. I think on the whole we're very good at looking after what we've got in, the stable staff we've got here. Things have changed dramatically since I first started training. And certainly if I approach my staff in the way that perhaps I was approached when I was younger, there wouldn't be many people in racing. We've all changed, and I think change has been good. And I think we're working very hard, and it's all going in the right direction when it comes to all the welfare issues with stable staff. We had a horse that we retired, and we couldn't work out what to go and do with him. And we have a farm up the road which looks after children who dyspraxic children have problems, etc. And he's gone up there, and he's a petting horse, and he is the most popular horse in the yard. They all love him. Yet when he was here, he was an absolute nightmare. So horses have affinity for people. Some years ago, I had brought 2 dyspraxic children with monumental issues, and I said, look, I've always been very open, let people come around the yard. But I said, there's one stable they can't go into or even talk to the horse because it's an absolute nightmare. It will bite them. Anyway, the chap who was taking them around the yard got rushed off the loo, and I came back in the yard to find these 2 boys in that horse's stable. Now, if I'd gone in there, it would have killed me. These 2 boys were sitting there. He was eating out of his hands. That taught me a lot.
I've got 1 or 2 people here who would be completely lost in any other kind of job, but they've worked hard at their riding, for example. That's what they're good at. They come in and they do it. If they were in an office job, I mean, if I told you that we have a couple of members of staff that can't read, but they're still very good riders. This is their world. So, the comfort that those people are getting by having a role in racing is considerable.
Well, it's a lot of mental health has become a big thing over the last few years, and there are lots of channels now that people can use to get help if and when needed. We've got the Stable Lads Association, we've got NARS for members of stable staff for contact if and when they need to, and there's now a line actually direct for trainers to speak to through the NTF if trainers themselves are having problems. So I think, like with everything with mental health, you've got to make the first step yourself, but the help is there if you want it.
Yeah, I definitely do. There's a lot of services nowadays for jockeys and everyone working in racing, to be fair. That includes stable staff and trainers as well. It's made very, very clear to everyone what the services are, what they include. And I think that is very important, and they are very good.
Listen, I've not actually have to reach out for it myself, but I know there is sort of helplines that if you're struggling, there's people to ring in the IJF and whatnot that will give you help and support. Like I say, I'm lucky I've not had to reach out for it myself, so I haven't actually experienced that side of it. But I know there's people who can ring, and I'm sure they've got very good people on there, looking after that side of it anyway.
We're in an industry which is basically run by betting, and unfortunately in our industry, if you don't win, the abuse you get both online, could be over a phone, over an email, is something that you wouldn't really get in any other walks in life. Myself, I'm able to deal with that. It doesn't really get to me. It got to me at my early stage of my career, but it's kind of water off a duck's back to me now. Albeit, listen, you can, whoever you are in life, you can be hurt by what someone's saying to you, especially I think criticism of someone inside the industry. But yeah, X and Instagram and whatnot can be a dark place at times, and I think we can do more to help young people coming into the sport. I fear for young jockeys the one thing they do when they get off a horse now, they go back into the weighing room and search their name on X to see what Jimmy Bloggs has been saying from wherever, and whether he won or whether he got beat, they kind of want to know who's abusing them or who's praising them, and I don't think that's healthy. I think people should have to be verified on social media now. I don't think you should be able to have an account behind a masked face or a fake account. But yeah, I think we could certainly do a lot more to protect young people in the sport. As you get a bit older, you get used to the abuse and whatnot. And listen, some people can take it, some people can't. No different to a footballer that missed an open goal. You'll get a striker that is water off a duck's back. He'll go and win and score a hat-trick in his next game, and you'll get a certain striker that he'll go missing for 5 games because they can't handle the pressure. But yeah, the answer to your question, I think a lot more can be done, a lot more people can be protected, and how we do that I don't know, but I think it's something that kind of seriously does need looking into.
We sort of tend to make a bit of a joke out of it sometimes. I know one of Lewis Stones and I both get the same messages each time from the same guy on Instagram. But like someone like Michael Nolan, for instance, you know, they're obviously that horse sadly passed away in the National, and he's ended up having to delete social media because the abuse he was getting, so like Twitter and things. And it's actually come out today that the horse died of pleuropneumonia in the vet. So actually, it wasn't actually legal, but the damage has been done by social media. So yeah, it's not great. I mean, I suppose there's a fine line between looking past it and just not caring, but also like I suppose when it's someone in Mihul's position, there was torrents of abuse from thousands of people. It's not great.
Social media is just one small thing impacting on mental health, and certainly when I started out, social media, there was no such thing as social media. So it's all about educating and working with these young jockeys and young stable staff to work out. You know, I'm still learning about social media, and it's very hard for me to be educating them about social media when they're probably there to educate me about it. But there's a lot of people behind the camera that probably say things that they wouldn't do face to face, and I think the young generation have got to understand that, you know, take the opinion from the people that they would care most about. You know, I'd like to hope that they look up to our senior members of staff and Gavin, our first jockey, and myself, and you know, if we are the ones that should be guiding these youngsters through their careers, and I think they should try and take more from us than perhaps social media and you know, our young jockeys, if they're getting you know, abused on social media about a particular ride, well then, you know, come and ask the trainer about the ride. You know, the trainer will give them the honest truth about it and guide them in the right direction, rather than having a troll behind a camera, you know, behind an egg on a picture telling you that you're rubbish. You know, why would you listen to that? Listen to the people that care more about you.
Life in general, people have an awful lot to say that perhaps they wouldn't say in real life, and that's just something that we have to deal with. I'm very good at turning a blind eye or ignoring things that might have been said behind a screen because it's not real life. And I remember a few years ago getting very upset about something somebody was saying about the yard on social media after we'd had a bit of a problem. And one of our owners says to me, don't read it. It's quite simple. If you don't look at it, there's one person out of millions and millions of people saying something that you don't like, and you're reading it. It's just that person's getting no traction anywhere other than your head, so just don't look at it. And it makes perfect sense. You've got to learn, you know when to walk away from it, haven't you?
I realised I was 25, so I had house in Cardiff that I was renting out, and I had to decide quickly whether I was going to continue in horse racing and, you know, maybe struggle to make a living or maybe make a good living. So I decided to pack it in. But basically, when the adrenaline rush went, my wife's a doctor. She was a junior doctor at the time. I had to go on antidepressants because I missed the buzz of horse racing. I missed the adrenaline rush. I missed the socialising. I just missed everything about it. And then I had to do a trade, you know, carpentry and joinery. And it's totally different to the environment I was used to. So yeah, for 2 years I was clinically depressed. And sadly on one night I did try to take my own life.
Anyway, well done all, and
because I thought my future had nothing, you know. But luckily I had some good friends and family around me that said, well, look, my career in racing wasn't, you know, one that was wasted. It was one that should be enjoyable. I should look back on my achievements because not everyone makes it. So now I'm a carpenter joiner, just close to retirement now. And I'm glad I did quit racing, but at the same time, going back to that very day when I quit, I'll never forget that feeling of, oh my God, I'll never race again, you know?
People probably know from experience, but working outdoors brings a lot of good positives out in the fresh air, still working with animals. I definitely know for me, working in an office would have been very difficult. So I guess in terms of just people's mental health, working outdoors, working with animals gives them a lot of release, lets them interact with horses. You know, people might not be great interacting with other people, so these horses just give you another way to be able to socialize and have fun, really. And there's nothing like cantering and galloping racehorses. If you're able to, it's a massive thrill, and we're very special to be able to do it.
Basically, like when being around horses, no matter how bad or how low my mood is, and just, you know, come out into the yard, go onto the gallops, just completely takes everything away, puts you at peace, and yeah, just really puts you into a happy place. Like, it's almost hard to put into words, really, but I know it's very relatable for a lot of people who do struggle with mental health. And the minute they're out there with horses, it's just you just feel a lift off your shoulders, and, you know, just watching them do what they do is just, you know, just quite therapeutic and puts you at peace, really. So.
From people I know in racing who do struggle with their mental health, their job is their life, and these horses are their life. And I suppose it adds on from the previous question that, like, they don't know you're in a bad mood, but so they are everything they do. Their reactions to everything is just natural. So, and they'll always cheer you up. Like, I had my own pointer last year, and the highlight of my day was going to go see him after riding work at another yard in the morning. So I think horses in particular are very good for mental health.
She can do one, Roxy.
Benefits of working with horses are endless. You know, you're working with living animals. You know, they've got no expectations of you as a person, which is lovely. No deadlines, no meetings or anything like that. So I think from that perspective, it's very nice. You know, also you're outdoors all day, every day, and that does a hell of a lot for your mental health. You know, for anyone, regardless of working with horses or not. So I do think it is very beneficial working with horses.
I think animals are probably the biggest solver of it. You know, they're a great help. Just you get on a horse, and I'm lucky enough to ride out with Christian lots. So you just get on the beach and, you know, you're riding horses, and the last thing you're thinking about is anything other than horse and what you're doing at that point. So I think it is, you know, horses are great for your mental health, and I think people in racing are probably very good as well. You know, there's a lot of friends in the weighing room, you know, trainers, owners who are very supportive, and, you know, if you reached out for help, I'm sure they'd always be there.
I know that the authorities are trying to get more and more savvy about this. Obviously, I'm a doctor by background. I think it's quite challenging for a lot of the young people working in it. It is predominantly young people. We have an incredible staff, nearly 40 staff, all young people, not overly paid, but they're normally here at 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, without fail, mucking out, riding out and so on, showing great commitment. A lot of them, quite a few of them will have challenges on the way, personal challenges, just like other young people. And it's important that we are responsive to it. We do recognise it. We try and give them the support as best we can. So I recognise there's a challenge there, and I recognise that racing is trying to do what it can to give people support where it can be given.
That's what's great about National Racing is, I mean, you can see them come out like 4 years old and follow them through to their 12, 13, 14, and you sort of grow that connection with them, and something that's come down here like Fergals or what have you, and get to see them progress and see the characters they are, and just really connect with them, and all put you in a good space really.